Okay, so right now I'm doing a World War III reading, and what I have here, I have my three Deviant Moon decks. So I have shuffled these to a large degree already to spare you having to listen to that. And with these three decks, so this deck is representing NATO. This is my Russian Deviant Moon deck, and it is representing Russia. Now, this is my newest Deviant Moon deck, but this one is representing China, right? So, with these three decks, I might do a little more shuffling, um, but it's mostly taken care of. So, NATO, right? We're looking at NATO. So we've got a Four of Cups and a Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands, there's everybody fighting. Now, this is in relation to World War III and basically how these three energies are either trying to avoid it or trying to fucking instigate it, right? So it's interesting because the Four of Cups for NATO is showing stagnation and boredom as a root, and then here, I mean, it is everyone fighting, everyone competing over stuff. I'm just going to put one more card to sort of show what we got as a groundwork for this. I gotta move my Russian cards here. So we have chaos and competition on the groundwork of the world reversed. This is coming to a natural ending of something. And when it's reversed, it's like the thing is ended, but you're not letting it end. You know, it's like graduating from school and then just fucking still standing around in the school because you don't know what else to do. So, um, it shows something having ended, but they just don't like recognize that. And here, that is the groundwork for all of this fighting. Now, here is the Russian Deviant Moon deck. And let's just see from the Russian perspective, World War III. What do we got? Ooh, we might have to shuffle it one more time. All right. Boop, boop. So, what do we have here? Our root card is another 4. So I'm going to have to put these root cards over here. Maybe I'll put them on the bottom. So the root card for NATO is the Four of Cups, and that's emotional stagnation. So for Russia, we have the Four of Pentacles, and this is about fear of moving forward. Same portal, right? The same portal is here as is in the world. Anyway, it's a fear of moving forward because of losing something that you have, something that you're trying to hang on to. So the main card is the Knight of Wands. And again, all right, so this is the impulsive action. This is like the impulsive knight charging into battle, literally. So let's see the groundwork here. And it's the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is like all the shit work that you have to do to get something done. Now, let's put this over here. Let's see if I can properly display all of these. And that might not be possible. But we have a lot of wands and a lot of fire that are happening in here. And we have 2 4s for each of these. One is more emotional and like spiritual as far as NATO goes, but it's very much physical and more about money and stuff as far as where Russia is concerned. So, and here, this is a bunch of people fighting, and for Russia, it's like charging into battle. So, both NATO and Russia are basically down with this fight the way it is looking here. Now, let's see what, whoops, China has to say. Oh, God. One of the cards just fell on the floor. Which one was it? It was the 2 of Wands. I'm going to put that back in the deck and shuffle. Because China might be just licking its chops here, you know. And the root card there is the Emperor, and that is control. So the main card for China is the Death card, and that is wanting to give birth to something new and just having to sacrifice the old thing in order to do it. Let's look at the old thing. And the old thing is like exile, essentially. And this is a card of, it's not exactly a card of financial security, you know, it's a card of financial lack. So, where the other two, so Russia has a 4 of Pentacles and is trying desperately to cling on to something that it can't keep. And NATO looks like it is emotionally bored and stagnant and therefore is fucking shit up. China is basically in control and is trying to fundamentally transform a thing. And that thing here just shows, I mean, I'm assuming this is China and sort of being exiled and judged and all of that. And they're like, well, fuck all that business. We're going to take control. Okay, now I'm going to look at true motivation, and we're going to start with NATO, because all of this would imply that all 3 of these entities would probably be okay with this. So, true motivation. For NATO, we have the Temperance card. That is surprising, but the Temperance card is wisdom and understanding, right? This is the first, like, kind of positive sign that I've seen out of this. And let's look at Russia as far as World War III goes. And it's here. And this is just trying to get the hell out of the burning place and trying to go to a place of peace. So this also shows that the true motivation here is like actually trying to get away from conflict. And we'll look at China, true motivation as far as World War III goes. Huh. And this is like cooperation. Everyone's sort of working together and learning and growing together. That is interesting. So, even though the current energies and the way that they're moving have a soldier charging off into battle and basically fucking chaos and strife and everybody fighting each other, it looks like the true motivations are all pretty decent in each one of these cases. cooperation, patience, and understanding, or a blending of two separate things. Now, you could also look at this as a one world government, which, I mean, duh, that's probably, I mean, I don't think anyone would doubt that that is the true motivation behind at least the powers that control NATO or any of the other fucking places, right? One world government, and they all want it to be theirs, of course. But this is trying to get away from conflict. This is like trying to find mental peace. And that's what shows up for the Russians. Now, because all of these show an actual true motivation, then the only way that World War III would happen would be through gross incompetence, which, I mean, that could happen, or through rogue entities basically instigating it. Now, I don't exactly know what to pull, like what deck to use as far as rogue entities go. I guess we're going to go back to the China deck just because it's the newest. And let's see if that is something that could actually happen. Like a completely separate rogue entity. And the card is the Justice card. This is about fairness. I would not really take this to mean a rogue entity unless it was... If this was something that was just trying to... that maybe thought all of the other entities were kind of the same and maybe beneath them. I mean, you know, a higher being judging everything would be something like this. But for the Justice card to show up, if it is a rogue entity, I don't think it's like a militia or something like that. This would be, well, let's pull one more card to find out. Because I guess if there was a militia that just wanted everyone to be judged in some fashion, then that actually could show up that way. But what we get is the reversed Six of Swords. Now, the true motivation that it shows for Russia is the Six of Swords, and that's getting away from this eternal conflict. This is the eternal conflict, right? So if there is a rogue entity, it's basically the thing that the Russians were trying to get the hell away from. So, I mean, that would mean the fucking Nazis, pretty much, right? From the way that I'm reading this and what I understand of the way that conflict has been playing out for 10 years, I mean, it is very possible that I am misinterpreting that, but my interpretation of this would be the fucking Nazi militias trying to instigate it so everybody gets judged. So, barring this happening, I think that we should be safe from World War III unless there is just fucking amazing incompetence, and I guess that is possible. But it does show the true motivations of all parties involved. None of the true motivations would necessarily show, you know, universal destruction. So that is pretty good. I would love to hear any other thoughts on this or any other interpretations of these cards. And also any other questions, like if you have a request for a topic, feel free to let me know. That's what we have for now, and peace.